we bring you the impact of COVID-19 on the global, African, and Nigerian economy. Here are the following updates we have at the moment. At the global level, the confirmed cases are 3,701,405, while deaths recorded are 256,382, with 1,227,489 recoveries. In Africa, the confirmed cases now are 47,463, with 1,849 deaths and 15,827 recoveries. In Nigeria, the confirmed cases are 2,802, with 93 deaths and 417 recoveries. Let's give you some updates that we have at the moment. Virgin Atlantic, an aviation company, will cut over 3,000 jobs, around a third of staff, as the coronavirus pandemic grounds planes worldwide. The British carrier, part owned by tycoon Richard Branson, announced. With the virus having decimated international air travel over the past 2 months, Virgin said it was obliged to make the cuts to preserve its financial future, adding it was in talks with the UK government about potential support. In order for the airline to emerge from the crisis regrettably, it must reduce the number of people employed, and today the company is announcing a planned reduction of 3,150 jobs across all functions, a Virgin Atlantic statement said. In the Middle East, the CEO said, starting tomorrow, 536 of our colleagues who make up 31% of Karim will leave us, Madassa Shekhar said in a statement released late yesterday. Our business is going down by more than 80%, and the recovery timeline is alarmingly unknown. Dubai-based Karim, acquired by Uber last year for $3.1 billion in the Middle East's biggest technology transaction, operates taxi-hailing apps in 14 countries across the Middle East and North Africa. French President Mr. Emmanuel Macron said it was unlikely that French people would be able to undertake major foreign trips this summer, and that even trips within Europe may have to be limited in order to reduce the risk of a resurgence of the coronavirus pandemic. It is too soon to say whether we can take holidays. What I can say is that we will limit major international travel even during the summer holidays. We will stay among the Europeans, and depending on how the epidemic evolves, we might have to reduce that a little more. We will know early June, Mr. Macron told reporters during a visit to a school outside Paris. France is set to end its lockdown on May 11, when people will be allowed to move up to 100 kilometers around their residence. Fitch Ratings estimates that central banks around the world have provided facilities in the excess of $90 billion to support mutual funds amid the coronavirus pandemic. The scale of support shows regulators' sensitivity to the potential systemic risk that funds pose through potential spillover effects to financial markets. Mutual funds have become much larger relative to the global economy than at the time of the last global crisis. Mutual fund assets under management were $55 trillion, 64% of the global GDP at end 2019, compared with $24 trillion, 38% of GDP at the end of 2008, according to ICI Global. Fund stress could lead to increased financial market volatility in regions or countries where central bank facilities are less widespread or comprehensive, or where their effectiveness is constrained. The magnitude of support brought to bear also suggests that the liquidity management tools available to fund may be inadequate for a severe stress scenario. India is the latest country to implement a mutual fund support facility to $6.6 billion of 90-day repo funding to banks to extend liquidity to funds or purchase commercial paper and debt securities from them. This followed the suspension of redemptions in 6 funds with combined asset under management of $4.1 billion. Fitch is skeptical about how effective the support will be, as India's banks have low capital headroom and could be reluctant to extend liquidity to funds given the lack of capital relief on the facilities. The largest facility has been the U.S. Money Market Mutual Fund Liquidity Facility. This was launched in March with an initial term of just over 6 months in response to severe illiquidity in the secondary market and large redemption from money market funds. It had $51 billion of outstanding loans at 14th of April. There is no comparable facility in Europe, but stress in Europe's MMFs decreased due to improved secondary market liquidity when the MMLF was activated. A key element of the MMLF's effectiveness is that advances are without recourse to the borrower, in contrast to the Indian facility. Thailand and Colombia have implemented or expanded central bank repo facilities, allowing mutual funds to exchange certain securities for cash to meet redemption requests. No Colombian funds have suspended redemptions, but 4 Thai funds with combined asset under management of $4.6 billion suspended redemptions in March before Thailand's repo facility was implemented. Thailand's facility covers eligible assets of about $31.2 billion. Colombia's pre-existing facility was increased to $20 billion after being made available to mutual funds. Countries that have implemented support facilities have not experienced additional redemption suspensions. In Europe, however, where facilities have not been introduced, more than 80 funds with combined asset under management of over $40 billion implemented extraordinary liquidity management measures in March. Nevertheless, liquidity in European funds has improved following broader market support initiatives, and several funds have reopened. Mutual funds are a conduit between investors and financial markets. Most funds exhibit liquidity risk, offering investors the ability to redeem daily, but investing only a limited part of their portfolios in highly liquid assets. Liquidity mismatches are most acute in funds investing in illiquid assets such as properties.